my goodness, I am so super excited for today's chat. I'm bringing on board Emily Gallagher from Conscious Boss, who I absolutely love, and we are going to talk about all things starting a business and really just, yeah, having the confidence to really share your business online so that your like soulmate clients and customers can really see you, and then they can find you online, because yeah, that's what this series is all about, just really being able to put yourself out there, and so you can reach the people that really need to hear your message. So I'm just adding her on now. Dun, dun, dun. Yay, and thanks to all of those people that are watching us on live. It's so exciting. I can get some better camera stuff going on here. Hello!
Hi!
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? I'm just trying to work out, I'm in like a little new spot, so I'm just trying to work out the best angle situation.
I love it. We're in the same place right now. I just come down to Napier, so I'm like, okay, how do I do this in the best lighting?
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in LA, is that right?
I am. Yes, I'm down in Venice Beach. So I'm actually sitting here with a blanket on, though. It's got a little bit
really?
chilly. Yeah.
Oh no,
Not as warm
that's
as
not
I
good.
thought it would be. It's nice outside though.
Yeah, oh, so good. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy to be able to talk to you. For those of you who are joining, please enter some comments in the questions, because we would love to be able to answer them at the end of the conversation. And yeah, for those of you who don't know, Emily was my first coach, and so this for me is just really exciting to be able to have her on and just be able to chat, because Emily and I do have quite a long history. We actually went to university together back in the day. So yeah, for me this is super exciting. So thanks so much for joining.
Oh, it's so nice. It's such a really nice, circle moment to, like, I still literally remember, I remember obviously us at uni, but then I remember us having that call and like where you were at, and like, so being here now and like seeing you step up and shine and like do all of your thing and be on here with you. It's cool.
No, it's so good.
I'm proud of you.
And yeah, thanks. My first call with Emily was like, I don't know if I can invest in myself. I don't know if I can really, I don't know if this is for me. And oh my goodness, it was just like a whole lot of fears and limiting beliefs about whether I could actually be in business. So it was, so good to be able to go through some of those with you. Thank you.
So awesome. No, it's awesome to see you step in, not just for yourself, but for others now. So it's exciting.
Yes, yay. Okay, so what I'd really love to do and talk with you here is just for people who are, or ladies who are really like, they're wanting to start a business, and they're either in business or wanting to start a business, but they're really just like getting in their own way, very much like I was, and just really not putting themselves out there, and just being held back. So since you are doing so well in your business at the moment, I would love to really just kind of hear about what inspires you to do, or what you do firstly, and what really inspires you to do that work in the world.
Yeah, great question. And yeah, it's something that I think a lot of women struggle with. It's a big thing, is being seen. Like I work with women, like I worked with you, around, the early stage of like really getting clear on the idea, and then stepping into really just building from that. And I'm changing a little bit now and starting to work with people that are a little bit further along. But in my boot camp, I've got an amazing group of women at the moment, which is what you went through. To help them really just break down those mindsets, because for women so much of it is about mindset. It's not really even about the strategy. It's just about believing enough. And even in my own life, like I was just in Santa Fe at the speakers training with 5 amazing, powerful women from the US. And, I stood in front of the room and I was like, I'm out there for a Kiwi, like, because I was so afraid to actually be seen and to take up space and to like actually talk about myself. And I think this is what so many women struggle with online and building a business, is like really standing in like, I have a voice, I'm worth being heard, and I'm going to be seen. So it affects you at different times, but it's just one of those things where it's like, you're never ready, that you have to just, I know with you, when you had your product business, you're like, well, why do I need to be seen? Why do I need to be in the front of this business, right? So yeah, it's a really common thing, but it's one of those things that we build the confidence after we're willing to like stand up and start talking, right?
Yes, no, that's so true. I love that. It's like it's the different levels. It's it can start when you're just starting out in business, and then you take that step up, and you're like, okay, well now I'm playing at this level, or now I'm talking to this kind of person, and it's just like
Mm-hmm.
those like there's like you're hitting that wall and continually hitting that, and like I guess hitting the wall, but like continuing to move past the wall is more what I mean, which is awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good, like a good point. I just want to elaborate on that a little bit because it's like we never get, hi Amy, thank you for all the
Hi,
hearts.
baby.
You never get to that point where you're like, just, okay, cool, I'm good now. I'm just going to chill
Mm,
and like not face off with the stuff that comes up. Like that was
yeah.
a really high level room that I was in and a really intense experience. So like that brought up a whole bunch of stuff for me. And so we never get to that point where it's like, okay, you know, now I'm really comfortable, or we shouldn't. Like we should never strive to be there. We
Yeah.
should always be striving to be in that room. And the reason that a lot of times people don't is because it is, I love you, Amy, it can
Yeah.
be really confronting because you have that reference point of like, okay, I'm here and this is where I want to be and there's this difference. But it's like, instead of fearing that, it's like, okay, embracing it and knowing that like then all of a sudden you'll be there and they'll be there again. So it's loving the
Yeah.
process as well, the big part, loving that journey, and knowing that you're always going to have that next leap, you know?
I love that because it's so like sometimes when we think we're like starting out in business, we're like, okay, I'll just do this and then it will be fine. But it's like you don't ever actually want to get to that and then it will be fine level, because that and then it will be fine level is like you're not growing, you're not expanding, you're not actually like achieving the success that you could be achieving. So like it's just getting used to that like uncomfortableness and being like, okay, I'm super uncomfortable. It's getting less uncomfortable. Okay, now I'm super uncomfortable again.
Yeah. And you'll still have the things like the things that were so scary. Like I remember you didn't even want to do a live. Like there was a time when I
No.
didn't want to do a live on my personal page. Like so
Yeah.
you still will master and complete and like move past things and become a master at things that like once upon a time gave you the absolute like nightmares. But then they're always like they'll just be a new thing. So you'll constantly be growing and becoming more valuable and becoming more confident overall. But there will still always be those things like it'll be okay, now I'm speaking to a different audience or now I'm speaking to a different room.
Yeah.
So becoming comfortable at being like a novice as well is something that's really valuable.
No, I love that. And it's yeah, this is such a I love this conversation already. I'm so good.
You know, I can
Oh,
talk
and
about
thanks.
this all day.
Yeah, I know, me too. And thanks, Amy. Yes, I know. It's just yeah, I could not
It
recommend
really
just
has.
like yeah, going out there and just actually investing in yourself and really just being like, okay, this is what I want. Who has it? As we were talking in Amy's conversation, actually, it's like, who has this? Okay, let's like immerse myself in this environment. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's so amazing. And I'd love to kind
Yeah.
of hear like, if you were to start, if you were being back when I first kind of met you, one of your like first events, and you were thinking back to yourself, like, oh my goodness, I'm just starting business now. What is some advice that you would give to yourself to just kind of inspire you to be like, take the jump and like push yourself forward?
Mm, Amy, I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for all the stats. You're so great. So at the early stage, like what would I say to myself to kind of just
Yeah.
keep it moving? Um, I mean, for me, I think one of the biggest things I think for me, you know, I had my events Conscious Boss Clique, which I've now done kind of like internationally. But when they first started as literally like a conversation with a girlfriend and I, like, wouldn't this be great to have a space for our friends to have a collaborative, supportive sisterhood kind of environment? They started with like personally messaging 10 of my friends, and then the next event had 4 people, and then the next one had 7. And, you know, so I think it's like one of the big things is like, not expecting this crazy big like oh, I know exactly what I'm gonna do and I know all of the plan and I'm so ready and confident. Like I think it's like not expecting yourself to feel that, because that grows and it builds. But it's like what feels like something that's so exciting right now for you to like, or not even so exciting, what feels like you're curious to like look into something or pursue something, because that's, I think that can help us actually do it, because if we make it so big and so scary at the beginning, sometimes we cannot do it. So I've always had this, like, I think I've always kind of had this desire for like this life and like this kind of inner knowing that like I could create it, but I wasn't always sure about what it would. Yeah, so I wasn't always sure about what it would look like. So I think a big thing for like people really early on starting is like, how could you make it simpler? How could you make it smaller? How could you just lessen the pressure and just be like, what's something that excites me? Okay, what's curious? What events am I curious to go to? You know, where am I interested to show up? Like you said, who has the kinds of things that I want, and what does that look like for them? So what could that look like for me?
Yeah, I love that, and it's so true. Especially when you said that, like, inner knowing piece. It's so it's so strange to like to go through life, and like I've had this as well, being like I've got an inner knowing that I want to start something and I want to create something amazing, but I didn't really know what it was and like how that kind of
Mhm.
looks. And I guess yeah, for everyone who's just joining, it's okay for you to start in one place and then like move on to something else. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like that's kind of normal, but you've got to try things and you've got to kind of, as you say, your business is evolving as well, and it's like
Yeah,
you don't know what it's going to look like. Like I have no idea what my business is going to look like in like 5 years from now. I mean, I've got a plan for where I want to be in
no
5 years,
way.
but
Yeah.
like it's just going to grow and expand. So
Mm.
yeah, that's so
Yeah, and I
exciting.
want to give I want to give a shout out to you too, because like I said, I remember that phone call that we had, and like how like and it can feel like that. It's like because it's not even really about the investment. It's not really about like the other person. So much of it is that inner belief of ourself. It's like it's not that you're
Yeah,
scared, like usually that we're like scared that this person isn't going to return on the investment or hiring this coach. It's usually this fear of like, can I do this? Like, can I really pull it off? And so that's
yeah,
like the mindset piece and the confidence is such a big thing, but that builds. But
yeah,
also, you like started with a product-based business and you threw everything that you could
yeah,
into that. And now look where you are. And so it's like, you don't even like, and now with me, like, I know I'm pivoting into something totally different as well. So it's like, I know I didn't start my business for so long because I was like so stuck on like what's Z look like, and I was at A, and it's like you never are going to know that. And like now I'm at what I guess Z would be, and it's totally A again. So it's constant
yeah.
process of like just being in the journey, and trusting that if you continue to follow what feels good and have the confidence and keep stepping up, then you will just continuously be amazed by what you can create and who you become in the process.
Yeah, I think that is like the best thing, like what you've just said now, just being like, yes, it's not going to look exactly like what you plan it is going to look like anyway, or it's not, you don't really
Yeah.
know what it's going to look like. So just start. Like it really is. It's like start and like keep on growing and keep on evolving because otherwise you'll just be, sitting on the sidelines and you'll be seeing people who are starting these businesses, but you won't be joining in and you won't be growing because yeah, and
Mm.
it's just that's what's I guess that's why Emily and I are kind of doing this work as well because it's like that is so it's such a we know ourselves that it would be such a waste if that happened, like to just be
Mm.
like have all this like talent and these skills and I don't know either your message or what change you want to see in the world and all these things that you want to create. If you don't get out of your own way and let it happen and let it evolve, yeah, it would just be it would be really sad.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, business is such a amazing tool to really become the ultimate version of you. Like, growth is one of the human needs, and without growth, we don't feel fulfillment. And so, like, so many people are walking through life, like, just accepting a good life, and what gets in the way of a great life is a good
Mm.
life. And so you can be really comfortable, but like, are you really like fulfilled? Are you passionate? Are you contributing? Are you like expanding? Because that's where like those next level vibrations come from, and that's like that next level life. And so
Mm.
business is such a powerful, you have to face off with so much
Yeah.
stuff if you want to do this, right? So it's like
Yeah.
and again, that's confronting, and that's why a lot of people don't want to do it. But it's not even about having a business, but it's about really ultimately stepping into like the most expanded version of yourself, and business is such an epic tool for that. Plus, when we actually do that and we step into what we're really passionate about, we can friggin' change the world. Like, Conscious Boss is all about conscious business, and people really like
Mm.
stepping up and supporting and facing off. If we don't face off with our own internal shit, we can't even think about facing off with the stuff that's going on and out there, and even try and change it. So it's this kind of like business is a beautiful vehicle for facing off with that, but also creating a bigger shift in the world.
I love that. And like with the creating a bigger shift in the world, I think it was Grant Cardone, who I do love, and he was like saying he was like, oh, if you're just making enough money for yourself, it's actually quite selfish. Because there's so many causes out there. There's so many things that we are passionate about, but being able to have a business that we love doing, and then be able to actually give our time and give our money and like give our resources to these causes that we care about, we can just
Mm-hmm.
like we think we're small sometimes, but man, we can do some massive changes. And so yeah,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Totally. And one of the things we were talking about in the event that I was just at was, I think it's, I don't know who it is, David Maxwell, I think it might be, but it talks about the vibrations and, you know, the vibration of joy, which is 540 or something like that. Say Gandhi might have been like 750. So when we vibrate at that level, we actually shift the impact that that has, shifts like our communities, our relationships, the people that we're around. So if we're walking around and it's a similar thing, like what Grant says is like, if you're broke, you're worrying about yourself. If you're worrying about, if the only thing you can think about is how you're going to pay the rent, how are you going to help really shift your communities? And it's like, it's a confronting philosophy, but it's true because people don't want to think about it like that. But it's actually, you know, if the only thing we can think about is our current reality, then we can't really contribute in the way that we are capable of. If we really...
Yeah, I so love it. It's so many things that I'm learning on this journey, and probably you are too, is like it kind of shifts your old mindset and kind of turns it on its head, really, as to being like, oh, business, instead of being like business is selfish. If you just want to go after business for yourself, that's like you're thinking you're all that or you're selfish or something. Whereas it's actually the complete opposite. So it's just these like mindset shifts, and that will happen as you start your journey and as you continue your journey. For us, like we're both very much, I mean, even, you know, Emily's definitely done a heap of work in her business, but it's like we're still very much here and it's still going to go there. Do you know what I mean? So
always, for everyone. Yeah. I think that's one thing that I've learned in this journey is that you always feel like you're at the beginning. No matter where you are, you feel like you're just getting started. And it's so juicy. Like, that's so exciting. And also sometimes it can be really, again, confronting because you thought you wanted to be somewhere. Like, oh, I thought this was where I wanted to be. Now I'm aware that I'm shifting a lot and I'm not quite sure what that next thing is. So it's that uncomfortable space. And that, you know, that was echoed throughout this last weekend with everyone at different journeys. We still all have to face off with that stuff and we don't get there. So constantly being and knowing and like remembering that, okay, that happened there and then I got here. So I know that I'm going to get from here to here. It's just that I'm not clear how yet. And so it's just being willing to be in that and continuously investing, continuously putting yourself into environments that are going to facilitate you really moving through that is super key because you're never at the end, ever. So,
this is such good advice for ladies listening. I love it. And then I'd love to just touch on the piece. Also, if you have any questions, do write them in because, it's amazing having people on live and just being able to have that interactive conversation. So, anything you have, just type them in.
Got some boot camp babes on here, which is nice.
Oh, yay, exciting. And, for your for getting seen online and just really, like, sharing your message and being able to put yourself out there for your business, do you have any inspiration that would kind of helped you that would be able to help others?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially now with online changing so much and being like noisier and noisier than ever, like we have to be doing as much as we can, like online. I would say, find the places online that you really like. There's some mentalities where people say be everywhere, and it's like I think choose the places you can be well and show up there. I think the biggest thing is building a community. Like you are building true connections, like with the people that are showing up. There's an obsession with more numbers, but if you're not even showing up for the people that are in the space, like for these amazing people that are online with us live right now, then why do you even want more people? So it's like really truly focusing everything that you're doing online as a vehicle for you to continue to build community, connection, and relationships with those people, because that is what is going to actually, because the thing is as well, we're in business to make a difference. We're in business for a mission. We're in business to connect, to build community, to build an amazing tribe. So I would check in with like, what is your intention, and always show up to add value. Always think, how can I show up and add value to this community and love on everyone that's here? Like when I was doing the events, like they were offline, and I would also say, obviously this is online, but anytime you can take online into offline and build that community in person, also that cannot be underestimated. Like that is a key thing as well. But I think just really knowing that online is just a vehicle for you to build relationships. So everyone that's here online is a person, is someone who's giving love, who's someone giving your attention. And so the deeper that you build that, the more value that you add, the more successful that you will be. And also just face off with like, you've got to be seen. Like I said to you right when we first started, you've got to be there and be seen. Like people need to like be able to experience you.
Exactly. And we need to, it's kind of like when you're starting a business and you're not showing up online, you're like, okay, I've got a business, but you're just kind of like standing on the side of the road with a sign being like, hey, business. And like, only the people that literally walk by you or that drive by you are going to be able to see. And that means like in your community. So only the people that you know personally are going, or like intimately in your day-to-day life, are going to be able to hear about your business. And when you get online, it's just like people watching this will be some people from your community, some people from my community, some people from other community. When people like and comment on posts, it gets shown in someone else's feed. And so it might be that you're reaching so many more people than you think you are when you're just, standing on your personal page being like, hey, because you can reach your soulmate clients and customers this way. Like that's how it works. And it goes from standing on the side of the road with a sign to being like people driving past with your sign and showing it to everyone else.
Yeah, it's a good analogy. And the thing is that
Yeah.
most people aren't even standing on the road with their sign. Like, they're like, oh, I do this thing. Why aren't people coming to me? It's like, yeah, really. Like, you need to literally tell people again and again and again and again, this is what you're doing. This is who you're doing it for. This is why you're doing it, because people are watching. Like, I've had people that have been in my community for a while until they turn into clients or until they come to events. It's like, that's another thing I would love to say as well, is just like play the long game with your business. Like, be committed no matter what to just continually build and not wait for, like I still get sometimes on my business page like 2 likes, sometimes no likes, but it's like you keep showing up, you keep putting it out there. I have a multiple 6-figure business. So if I was just looking at like, okay, great, 2 likes, but it's not about that, So yeah, being committed and playing the long game is a big one.
And that's you've kind of the theme you've been kind of saying a little bit is like it's not about the numbers. And I would just I love that part of it, and just being like putting yourself out there no matter what. And yeah, on my business page, I'm also the same. Like sometimes I am getting just a few likes. And it's why I'm kind of doing it on my personal page now, because as I grow that business page, it'll increase more. But at the moment, sometimes putting yourself out there on your personal page is the best way to be able to actually reach more people. And so while it might be awkward and uncomfortable, thinking, oh my gosh, some people that I went to school with are probably watching this being like, what is this girl on about? But it's like that, it's stepping out of your comfort zone and just being, okay, I have to do this to be able to reach more people, because it becomes bigger than you, and it becomes bigger than, your fears and limiting beliefs that can just be like, oh no, I'm not good enough, or oh no, who am I to say that? When you're actually like, actually, I could help people. I have something in me. I have learnt this knowledge, and I have something I can give. And so when that happens, you just have to get out of your own way. You just have to be like, yep, how can I reach the most people? And that is online when you're just starting out. Would you agree?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. And it's like you build, it's like, and I think it's like building things as you do other things as well. It's like build the online while you also go to events, while you also meet people, while you also, it's like, it's a facilitator, and building it while you're also doing other things. But yeah, you can't. I mean, we live in a global world. Like, I have clients from all over the world. I have friends from all over the world. Like, it just opens so many doors, and it's such a powerful tool that it's like a non-negotiable to leverage it for sure.
Amazing, and I love that as well, because I have been to a lot of your events as well, and I do think it's the community that you can start it online by saying like, hey, or start it in communities, and then it can just expand and grow from there. And it can be the interpersonal stuff as well. So it's just it's a vehicle, isn't it? It's an opportunity, and it's just taking it and running with it, and not being afraid to put yourself out there, whether it be online, whether it be in-person events, or any of that stuff.
Yeah, no, you touched on something really, really good there as well. Just before that was around like the mission and it being about something bigger than you. And I think that's really important as well, to something that really facilitates playing the long game, and something that really facilitates doing the work and staying in the game is like having a mission. What are you up to? Why do you want to build this business? Why do you want to support people? What is it that connects you to them? Like, why are you passionate about it? Because you need to have something to pull you through those times. And when it is something bigger than us, when we do want to make an impact, when we are driven to contribute, and when we are focusing on that, it gets us through because we have a mission, we have a reason. And so I think that's a big thing as well.
Yes, I love that. And it's like, when you're doing your mindset work in the morning, it's like writing that out and just being like, where are you actually going? Like, when you make it so much bigger than you, and you make it so much bigger than whatever small-minded thoughts are going on in your head, that's when you really can have the lift, and it can lift you off and be like, okay, whoa, if I'm going here in 5 years' time or in 1 year's time, or if this is what I'm doing, the small stuff now that I'm doing is so minute, it doesn't even matter. Like when we're thinking about speaking on stages to, hundreds of thousands of people, and then we're doing a Facebook Live, it's like, oh, actually, this is fine. Like I've got so many other things that I'm doing as part of this vision. I can definitely step up now. And I think that's how it works each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to, and that's a really good thing as well to think about, where do you ultimately want to go? And not in a way that you get future trippy, that you're like, oh, that's so big, I can't do anything. Or even that you need to be super clear. But like, if you know you want to book, if you know you want to speak on stages, if you know you want to be on TV, if you know you want to, volunteer and give your time for 6 months of the year to contribute and do, volunteer activities, like what is it that you want, and how can you work backwards from that and start doing that now? Because if you want to speak on stages to 100,000 people, but you're not willing to show up on a Facebook Live, like then you get to look and like reevaluate, so it's good to use that and chunk back in a way that, supports you, not in a way that makes you feel like overwhelmed by it.
Yes, that's so true. And yes, thanks for putting in that caveat. Like if that is overwhelming, then yes, starting to what feels most comfortable for you, so that you don't stop yourself from even starting, because that would be the opposite of what we're trying to convey on this live stream.
Yeah, totally. Just start, get it out there. Like it's always going to feel scary until you do it. Like, and I think that's a big thing. It's not going to get less scary by thinking about it more. You don't need to be more ready. You don't need to be more clear. You don't need to be more confident. Those are all the things that happen after you push live, after you show up somewhere, and I think that's the really big thing is to remember, is that like, yeah, people have it. We just need to switch it. You get the things after you do the action, not before.
Yeah. And I remember you saying this to me. You were like, everything you want is on the other side of fear. And it was like, do it now. You don't get over the fear by thinking about it. You get over the fear by doing it.
Yeah, totally.
And that's the mindset shift, and so good.
Yeah. And it's also like, like I'll just share like openly about something with me. Like I'm not like that fearful in my business a lot of the time, but like I'm like still get scared to like flirt with guys and like stuff like that. And like when I was in Santa Fe, we went to the spa and there was like a really delicious guy, and like we broke through some pretty serious stuff over that weekend. But I like just like got some like really legit flirting with this guy, and I was so proud of myself. Amy, yes, Amy, you go, girl. And I was just like, and I was so proud of myself, and it was such an interesting experience because like I've had so many stories around, Amy knows, like I'm not good at flirting, or this and this other bullshit limiting beliefs, the same thing that some people have about business, but I have in this realm. And that's something important to remember. Like we don't always nail everything in every area. But like I did that, and it was so fun, and I felt so good. And I actually went home that night and I saw a different person in the mirror, and it was really powerful. I was like, holy shit, like I feel and look different. Like I'm seeing something different. And it's just like this filter. We have to have a new experience so that we've now, like, so we see ourselves different. Yeah, we have to get new evidence. And so I'm like, oh, hold on, nailed that. Killer, like bullshit story. See you later. And so we have to, but that doesn't come unless we're willing to like face that shit.
Yes, and that's so true. It's like it's in every area, and once you do it, you have that reference point. You have that thing to go back to. Oh, actually, last time I was, out at a bar, and I was either, talking to that guy, or I was doing something in my business. It's like, well, I've done that before, so I can definitely do it again. And you can have those things to kind of talk to yourself about as well.
Totally.
So yeah, I'd like to just, for some of the ladies that are watching, if we wanted to do something with you, like how do we do that? What is the next thing you've got coming up?
That's a good question, actually. So my bootcamp is just enrolled now, so that's kind of wrapped, but you can head over to my website, so consciousboss.com/20k, or even /CBB. Either one of those. Let's just go /20k. You can get my ebook, which basically shares how I built my business. I will be actually launching a digital version of my bootcamp in a few weeks, which I'm excited about, to be like more accessible. And then I'm kind of shifting into working with sort of people that are like a little bit further on, like in the kind of 3, 4, 5K mark, and helping them get to the 6 figures, because that's the next shift for me and what I feel like aligned with. But yeah, you can head over to me on Instagram. I always share a bunch of stuff over there, and I'm pretty active over there as well.
Amazing. I love that. And yes, so good to be able to, yeah, to be able to do that digital version as well. And I think that's actually very timely actually with this course that I'm launching for the Shine Your Light Online. And it is like for this first round, like yes, I'm going to be doing it live, and so I'm super, super, super excited to be able to share it with all of the ladies that join live. So if you are thinking about it and you do really want to just be like, yes, I can do this. Yes, you want to be able to step into that new version of you, and you want the support to do it with like a group of like-minded ladies, and also with the tools and yeah, tools and mindset shifts. If you're interested, definitely let me know because it starts on the 1st of May, and then yes, again, like this will be recorded, so it won't be live again. So yeah, I really do encourage you to really just like sign up and join and be able to go through this process with the ladies, because I know even when I was doing your boot camp, Emily, it was like, you know, having the ladies there and going through it together is such an amazing part of it, and such an amazing like, yeah, it's a community, isn't it? And I'm still friends with some of the girls. Like, they're still friends with
Yeah.
some of the girls that I met in Emily's boot camp. Like, and that was a year ago. And I actually, even Abby, one of the girls that was on this series, that's
Yeah.
how we met. And it's just, yeah, it's
Yeah.
so good to make, yeah, lifelong friendships from that.
Yeah. Community is key, always, definitely.
Oh, exciting. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me. Honestly, it's amazing.
You're welcome. You're
Um,
welcome.
Yes, and I look forward to seeing you very soon, actually, or sometime soon. I have to look at your dates and see if we're like in LA for the same time.
Yes, I know. I've got to like my dates are like getting updated like all the time because I'm like, oh, I want to go there. Oh, I'm going to go to New York. Oh, I'm going to go to Nashville. Like meeting amazing people. So yeah, my
Definitely.
dates are like on my website. My friend Phil like travels everywhere, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to put that on my website. So
Ah, it's
yeah,
good.
but I'm in LA. But yeah, I'm sure I'll see
Amazing.
you.
That sounds great. Okay, well, thank you so much and have an
Bye.
amazing rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.